It's as if it's its own little village, this cluster of portables here at Francis Xavier High School, and it's certainly not going to be the last, as more are expected to come in for September. Now, despite the funding announcements for 2 new schools within the Catholic District School Board, one councillor says the funding came a little late. Councillor Sameera Ali is disappointed it's come to a point where Mayor and Council had to approve a plan to allow 60 portables at Francis Xavier High School in order to keep up with demand. She says although the recent funding announcement for 3 new schools in Milton is great news, it does not erase the short-term problem at this one.
You will see that this school already has 38 portables. This is a situation where we will have to install a lot of mitigation around the local streets to, make sure we don't have traffic impacts, parking impacts, and congestion impacts on our local streets. We had a report come to council where our transit services actually said do not approve this project because it will have a huge impact on transit. We already have buses running, and the idea is because of the lack of funding, they had to squish in a whole bunch of students into this school. They will have to find offset parking, and so for that they're going to use 2 local Milton parks. One of the parks is in this ward, and buses or shuttles will be provided.
The Halton Catholic District School Board has been fighting for more funding since 2015. Trustee Patrick Murphy says the board knew the school was going to face capacity issues for years.
The really only viable solution for next year is to add portables to this site. After next year, this site will be at capacity. We have to look at different strategies. So currently we're going through a school boundary review, which will be voted on in September or October. And in that, there's 3 strategies. So one is to switch to a 6-period day, which would allow capacity in this school up to over 3,000 students, which creates its own problems. It's not an ideal situation to try and manage that. It impacts extracurricular activities, availability of specialty labs, what have you. The second would be to look at EC Drury in Milton, which would end up being a shared space with the school. And again, it doesn't have a lot of the specialty areas that we require, labs, gymnasiums that would be available to us. A smaller space, there would be a certain amount of capital investment required to bring that up to standard. And then the third strategy is to rent from the public board Pearson's High School in Burlington, which is currently unoccupied.
Both Councillor Ali and Trustee Murphy want to reiterate they are indeed grateful for this announcement of funding for the new schools. Having said that, though, in the Halton Catholic District School Board's case, the funding is going to come up a little short. In fact, Trustee Murphy says the board's going to have to come up with another $6.5 million to fund the rest of the project, and that's going to come out of their capital reserves. Reporting for Halton News, I'm Melissa Candelaria.